Hi, John Capobianco here. I've been at ONUG in New York City all week, an incredible event. I was one of the MCs. I had day zero workshops. I met some incredible people and was really privy to the front row seat of where AI is going. I recommend you look up the material. It's going to be all on their LinkedIn page and their website, onug.net. Anyway, while I was gone, ChatGPT introduced Atlas. Now, Atlas is a browser, I would say a semi autonomous agent that takes prompts and can perform actions in your web browser. That's quite a simplistic explanation. Now, you might have seen me do computer use, which was really machine to machine. It was Gemini CLI sending prompts and instructions to launch a browser and do things. A few days later, and in that spirit, using Chromium and a similar underlying technologies, ChatGPT has come out with this. So I'm going to share a video that I've made, and we're going to walk through the video. So you launch Atlas, it's tied to your GPT account, and I'm going to put in a prompt here that says, now you got to bear with the typing and everything, and this video is about 20 minutes long. But what I'm going to try to do is add some constructs to the demo NetBox environment, and then send a tweet, and then send a LinkedIn post. Now, you've already seen the tweet and LinkedIn post. Those are live on the internet right now. This is the video on how it was all done. So, can you log in to this website, the demo NetBox dev environment, as admin, create a new site called Atlas, and add a device called R1 with an IP address on interface GI101. And I'm going to refine this a bit because I think in NetBox it's actually called Gigabit Ethernet 101. So, helping with the context a bit. And an arbitrary IP address. Now, I just wanted to start with NetBox DevNet environment because it is a DevNet. It's not a DevNet, a NetBox demo environment with a live NetBox environment. And I do this all the time for other various work. So I've put in the prompt, and it's going to ask me if would you like me to continue? Yes. I'll take it from here, it says. And now check it out. So it's going to spawn that website. And you can read, right, admin, sign in. Now you can read along here in the right, the reasoning and the actions that it's taking. So now it's going to actually expand organizations, go into sites. I didn't mention sites is under organizations, by the way. And it's going to add this Atlas site. So I found an add button. Here we go, Atlas, create. Now I've actually, just as of right now, there's a new site called Atlas. And now it's going to proceed to go ahead and hopefully now I'm going to add R1. And it's got to figure out how to add R1 and how to assign the IP address. Now this is going to take a little bit of time. And don't let the latency, let's call it, the latency, that you could say, I could have done this by hand and it'd already be done. I think that's missing the point. This is literally a few days old, and it's only going to get faster. And it's only going to get more efficient, right? This is the worst you're ever going to see this technology. And as I'm talking, you can see it's going to go ahead and add R1. And I'm going to tell it here, because it kind of stumbles, what kind of role is it? So I follow up and say it's a router. Now, in my original prompt, I probably should have included that R1 is a device role of router, and it's a device type of whatever. But I'm going to just supplementary, interactively, tell it. So it picked the 9200, because I did tell it that, and it's going to find the right 9200 in the device list here. Right, there we go, a 9248p. So it's going to add it to the Atlas site. And now we've added this R1 device to the site Atlas. Cool, right? So far so good. Created a site, created a device, hands free, right? Like just through the prompt. I am not driving this at all, right? So now it's going to fumble around a little bit, and I could maybe skip ahead just a little bit, maybe somehow, maybe not. I'm just going to let it play. There's a couple of things I didn't provide the information that it needed, such as the type of interface that it is, like a GLCT or whatever. So I try to provide some more supplementary information here to help it pick the right interface type in terms of an SPF or a SFP rather, or a pluggable. It's sitting right there, so I'm gonna try to tell it to pick some. All right, so I'm gonna stop this and follow up and say, it's a whatever type. And it's just arbitrary, right? This is just messing around. So, right, I could have provided all that in the upfront information. But again, this is all doing it all by itself here, more or less, aside from the prompt. So it's going to pick the right interface now and recreate it or add that type. And then it's going to go ahead and move, right? So it's already named. So it understands. It's funny, though. It understands that interface has already been created. So now it's going to try a bit of a different approach. And this is pretty cool to watch. So, right, it looks like that interface might already exist. So there's no need to recreate it. So now let me go find that interface and apply the IP address to it. Right, so it's going to do a couple things here. It's going to try to edit and find the way to add the IP addressing. And it's a little confused because I told it it was a type of interface. And anyway, I should not have tried to override the type of interface that it is. Okay, so it says I'm getting closer. I'm going to go ahead and select it. So it's going to select the interface type that I told it to use. Right, so it looks like I told it to use a 10 gig ER. And that's a human thing. That's my mistake. I didn't realize it would pick a 10 base T for this platform. So this is just me jumping the gun here. I got a little anxious. So I tried to give it a different interface type. But the neat thing is it adjusts. It says, okay, sure, like it's not the 10 gig T that you told me originally. It's actually this new type of interface. So it's just going to scroll, and there we go. Okay, so now it's actually going to move ahead and do the IP addressing, which is really cool. Right, so it's going to save that and override the base template for this device because of my human instruction. And now it's going to follow up and add the IP address. So it's actually, I think, going to go into the IPAM section now. Don't worry, it figures all this out. So now we're in the IPAM, and it's going to add the IP address that we specified, and hopefully assign it to, or eventually assign it to the correct interface that we just specified. Now, while that goes in the background, I'm just going to check something out because this was the only thing I've done today. And, oops, back. And I just want to see what this usage or token limit cost me today. Your profile, usage. right? So like next to nothing, right? So this all just comes as part of my built-in subscription through the browser. So I didn't see any big usage spikes or anything. And so we're back in here, and it's going to go ahead and assign the that IP address that we added to the interface. Now I don't want to say it struggles, but right, there's it eventually does find the right interface and add the IP to the interface. Right, so here, check it out. So on the right device, we have, and it's actually going to edit this and find the correct device. And I think I have to jump in at one point and help it find device R1. Right, so it's trying to find R1 here to reassign the IP to the device we want. And it does, to be honest, to be fair, it gets a little bit lost here. And I think I jump in and clear out some of these other devices. Now, this to me is a NetBox UI issue. The R1 filter should have found the R1 device, right? So you can see me sort of try to start, and I'm going to nudge it in the right direction here. And I'm looking for R1, the device we created, and it's just, this is me in control right now. So I'm going to resume. And it does work, I believe, from here on out. So it's considering its next steps here. And now you can see it's going to go look at R1. This is really cool, right? So there's the R1 Atlas device with the type and that interface that we're trying to assign the IP to. So we're going to the interfaces now. We're going into that first interface that we overrode the type, and we're going to edit it and assign that IP address. Now this gets pretty neat. Right, so there's that interface and we want to assign that IP. There we go. So it did create the site, the device with the device type, the interface with an interface type, and an IP address. So I'm going to say this is amazing. Check this out. Can you open up a new tab on x.com and send a tweet with a link to this IP address or interface or whatever I say here? This device IP interface. And let people know not only is the tweet itself generated by Atlas, but so is the NetBox resource. Now watch this. It's going to hop over to X. And it's on my X account, and there's some awesome Blue Jays stuff. And it's going to send the tweet with a link back to the NetBox. Right, it thinks it might need a login. Actually, it appears to be ready. So now it's going to go ahead and compose the tweet. So there's the tweet that it's drafted. Right, it's figuring out how to use the Twitter and asking me for permissions. So I'm going to add to it and just say go ahead and post, but also mention I am making a video demonstration. How this all works. Because I knew I was going to record this after I got this working. So It's just going to literally adjust the tweet a little bit. Right? And it hit post. So that tweet was sent by Atlas. I don't know if anyone else has done this before or yet, or if anyone's seen a demo of it, but it's one of the first tweets sent autonomously through AI agent known as Atlas, the browser. So now I'm going to give it a bunch of instructions here to make a detailed LinkedIn post. And you can see these tweets and LinkedIn posts on my timelines if you go and check them out. I'm going to be playing with this quite a bit. I have a few other ideas in mind. I want to see if it will upload a file to, say, my Packet Copilot. That's something I do want to try. I'd really be excited to see if it can do that. Actually upload a file and send a prompt and interact with my Copilot. That will be on my menu of things to try for sure. I might try it like right after this video is done and record it. This will be coming to Windows. Right now it's Mac only. And right now you do need to be a ChatGPT subscriber. It's pretty remarkable stuff. So here's, right, I'm giving it sort of my prompt engineering. And you can read all this. And I really believe we're sort of moving beyond the era of the mouse and the era of the cursor and the era of the way we actually interface with, as humans, the World Wide Web. And this demo is part of that, and computer use is part of that. And this agentic way of, following instructions. I've created resources in NetBox. I've sent a tweet. I'm generating a LinkedIn. This could be really extended to anything that currently has a web interface. And I'd love for you to share your work. If this inspires you to try some of this, I'd love to see what you do with it, with your own web UI. So we're almost there. It's talking about how I'm recording this, and we'll post to YouTube later today. And here we go. Now watch this. This is really cool too. Now, for transparency, I did jump in, but you'll see. I'll explain where I jump in and why. It is still sort of human in the loop and an augmentation, not a replacement in its current form. So you'll see here. So here we go. It spawned LinkedIn. And it's going to start a new post. And it's going to do what I asked it to do. Now, the only thing is was the white space. And you'll see here that it's going to fill this in with a post and the links and everything. Would you like me to go ahead and post it? So I'm actually going to ask it, can you deal with return characters or add white space? And it sort of fumbles, which is fine. And I just sort of say, I take control and I jump in and add the white space. Right? So can you clean it up a bit and make sure there's line breaks, is what I asked for. And it tries, but it doesn't work. So I sort of take control for a second. And here's me taking control, and I'm just going to go ahead and add the appropriate line breaks. Yeah, I'm going to add the appropriate line breaks here. But it's really cool. And now I'm going to ask it for some hashtags. So I'm going to say, yes, go ahead and post, but add some hashtags first. Something like that. And here comes, right? It's going to add 3 to 4 hashtags. And it even has the context awareness to add Atlas, NetBox, automation, AI, future of web. Really, really smart, really sharp, okay? And then I'm just going to give it permission to post, or it's going to go ahead and post. Go ahead. And it's going to go ahead and finalize the post. The user's confirmed, so now it's time to click the post button in the LinkedIn modal. It's located in the bottom right, and after the click, we'll finalize posting, ensuring proper citation. So there it went ahead and posted the post. And that's it. I sort of wrap it up and close things off. So, you don't need to see those posts, or if you want to maybe to wrap things up in a bubble, I could find those posts if you just bear with me here. Here's the tweet, and give me 1 second. And here's the LinkedIn post. Just to put a bow on this video. So, whoops, I launched WebEx. So here is the tweet. This tweet and NetBox resource were both generated by Atlas. Check out the device interface we created. I'm making a video demonstration on how this works. Stay tuned. If we click on the link, there is the IP on the right device, on the right interface, in the right site. And here is the LinkedIn post that links both to the resource and to the tweet. Okay, let me see what your imagination can do with this. And a couple of things. Obviously, I'm gonna, this is the end if anyone's still watching by now. Be careful of security. Be careful of your saved credentials, credit card numbers, things like that. Blah, blah, blah. The fear, uncertainty, and doubt of security and privacy. Use your common sense. That's all I can say. Use common sense. But don't let FUD hold you back on this. Don't let fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or as I like to say, fucking useless drivel, hold you back from embracing this new way of agentically interfacing with the World Wide Web. This could be APIC, DNA Center, lots of stuff. Don't do it in production. Obviously, don't do it in production. I'm not saying to do this in production. I'm saying to explore it and get used to it and be creative with it in your own time with your own resources outside of your corporate world. Because when this comes to the corporate world, you'll be ready for it. All right, thank you.